Joining us to discuss his time on VH1's The Surreal Life is Manny Guterriez. Manny, also known as Manny MUA, is a Mexican-American beauty guru, YouTube all-star, and the founder of Lunar Beauty, a cosmetic line for men, women, and everyone in between. Manny has been featured on Forbes 30 Under 30, as well as has made appearances on Netflix's Glow Up, The Kelly Clarkson Show, YouTube's Reality House, and most recently, VH1's The Surreal Life. Let's get straight into it.
Yeah, let's do it.
When you initially entered the Surreal Life house, you're welcomed by Dennis and Tamar. What are you thinking? Are you starstruck right off the bat? What's going on?
Listen, so I recognized Tamar immediately, right? I was like, oh my God, that's Tamar Braxton. Like, I knew her by her name, by her face. Like, I was like, I know who this is, without a doubt. I knew Dennis's face, but I didn't correlate like the name to the face. I was just like, I know this man, where's he from? So I was like, oh, hi, I'm Manny, nice to meet you. Hoping that he'd be like, oh, I'm Dennis. And I'm like, okay, duh. Like, of course, it would have hit me, but I was so nervous. And I felt so embarrassed afterwards because I was like, shit. And it didn't show on camera, but I was upstairs with Tamar. And she was like, do you really not know who that is? And I was like, no, who is it? And she's like, it's Dennis Rodman. Oh my fuck, of course it is. And so I was like, so duh. Like, and then I felt like so stupid not knowing. But at the time, like, you're in there and you're like so nervous, like you're like, holy shit. So I completely
trying to keep it together.
Yeah.
When you were in the wrestling ring, your alter ego El Solecito, being a beauty influencer, do you have a drag persona? Would you ever pursue that avenue, or do you have any names in mind?
Do you know what's so funny is that, like, I originally it was gonna be like we're going down in teams, right? So I was gonna be with Kim, and so she was La Luna, right? So I was like, oh, I'll be the sun, to her moon, right? Because I would have never picked like El Solecito just randomly. And at first, I picked El Maricón, which is like in Spanish.
Producers were like,
and they were like,
no.
They're like, you can't do that on TV. And I was like, oh, right. I forgot we're on television.
Not even VH1.
No, not like none of it. Like none of it. But it was in Spanish. I'm like, oh my God, it's fine. It's in Spanish. Like, they're not gonna know, you know? So when I did it, I don't really have like a drag persona. Definitely nothing like that along that, or like even like an alter ego. For me, it's more so like if I'm glam,
right? I
feel like I'm just like more on. I'm a little bit just more extra at the time. So I was like, like, I don't even think that I would feel like I am like a alter ego, you know? If anything, it's like Manny without glam is just like more chill. And then Manny MUA is more like, you know, like it's a little extra.
Right. A
little more sauce. Yeah.
I could totally see you doing like Secret Celebrity Drag Race that just premiered this last year.
I would so do that. Are you kidding me?
Okay, I was very curious. I think this one was kind of swept under the rug. You were super insistent on getting a vitamin IV treatment. Is this something that you do like on the regular? How consistently do you do this?
All the time. I do it literally anytime I feel like I'm getting stressed, like, or I'm in an environment where I'm super stressed out, or I feel like I'm not getting enough sleep, or doing anything along those lines, I will get like an IV drip, 100%.
I didn't even know this was a thing.
It's like if I'm getting like sniffly or if I'm getting sick or anything like that, I'll be like, I'll do a little app and I'm like, yo, like come to my house, give me immunity boosting. You're super hydrated. You're like literally infused with like vitamin A, vitamin D, vitamin C, everything that you can need to prevent from getting sick. So I try to do it like, I would say maybe like once every 2 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
A little bit more serious here. Dennis Rodman, along with his drinking, certainly had a little bit of a hold on the house's vibe. Certainly had a couple outbursts, made personal jabs at Tamar, and even had removed himself from the house at one point. Was there security on hand? Did production have extra precautions just in case something were to happen? Or did you ever feel scared at any point?
I think that he was just hurting, you know, in some way. And I don't think that it's like that he was going to be, you know, hurting anyone like physically or anything like that. I don't think that there was like necessarily like security, because I don't think that they had ever planned for anything like that to happen, especially because they wanted the show to be so lighthearted and fun and funny and just like very camp. So I don't think they expected anything along those lines, because they would never put us in situations where we felt like we needed to like be safe from one another, you know? Especially because we're all living together. Like that's kind of like the point. It's like the intimacy of it. So I don't think that we had, you know, security on hand, but production definitely did step in when that did happen. They're like, you know, we need to take Dennis out of the house for a few days and just let him cool down and just kind of reevaluate what's going on. And then obviously, as you saw, like we as a house voted him back in. But if we had said like, no, we don't want him back, he wouldn't have came back.
And that rekindling between him and Tamar, I felt was super important to have happened.
100%. It was really nice because she was so, because Tamar is she's so profound and she has this like depth of well of just knowledge and emotional. She's just so emotionally aware of herself and her surroundings, and so she's so empathetic with people that she saw that he was hurting, and she's like, I know he's not trying to hurt me, but he's lashing out in this way because he was hurting inside, you know? Right. So it was really, really, I feel like really amazing to see, and a very important story to be told, like, you know what, sometimes people just need a little bit of help, and they need some grace too, you know?
Right. Being that you and Tamar did kind of strike up a power duo type relationship with one another, it seemed that you confided in her more than anyone else. When Dennis did make those initial jabs, more particularly at her battle with self-harm this past year, what was your initial reaction, or was there a scenario where you may have jumped into the confrontation?
I was shocked. You know, I think that for me, I was very surprised that he had brought it up. Mind you, he was very like belligerent at that point, at that time. And you know, the thing is, for me, I didn't really know that she had like a self-harm public journey, you know, at the time. And so I was like very surprised. I just didn't know what was going on. And so when I found that out, it made it like obviously 10 times more harsh. I was like, what the? Like, I was shook. I was so shocked. So for me, it wasn't even about, I was like taken aback. And for me, it wasn't even about the confrontation with him to get involved. It was more so like making sure that she was okay. So I didn't focus on like arguing with Dennis about something. I was like, let me talk to Tamar, make sure that she's good. And like, I think you can even see in the show, like, I was just like, it's okay. And like, I was with her, whereas people were handling Dennis. I was like, let me make sure that Tamar's okay, because she's the one that's having
or so be the comfort blanket.
Yeah. I just wanted to feel like she knew that she had me, you know, and feel like that the whole house was rallying for her and not for Dennis, you know, at the time.
Right. Besides Surreal Life, you've competed on Reality House. How do the two compare to one another?
You know, it's funny because Reality House is a competition. So Reality House, you know, that was like, I feel like one of my first tastes into like doing something in this format where it's like I'm living with people, we're competing next to each other, we're housemates, like we have roommates, that whole thing. And it only lasted a week, 5 days specifically, whereas like obviously Surreal Life was like 3 weeks long, and it was so different because in Reality House, it's like a competition, right? So you're like trying to like make alliances, and you're like trying to not get voted out because it's like a voting thing, right? People vote you out. Whereas in Surreal Life, it's literally like you guys are doing things together, but no one's like getting eliminated. You know, you're trying to like have a great experience with people that you never would have thought you'd be connected with in general. Whereas in like Reality House, it's the same concept of like people that are all over the world, but we're all creators at the end of the day. We're all like content creators. We all do that for a living. Whereas in Surreal Life, it's literally like such different verticals where it's like you have TV, you have television, you have sports, you have wrestling, you have so many different things that it's just like we have such different like walks of life that was happening in Surreal Life. Whereas like Reality House, it's like they're all creators, and just like I am, you know, on the online space. So it's just a different vibe, right? Especially when it's like a competition. Like you just feel like you're more on, you know.
There's a prize on the line. Hey.
Yeah, there's money. Like there's money involved, and like for me, like I feel like I'm good at like the social game. Like no one ever voted me out ever, not once, not even one vote, and I was like, you know, I felt very proud of that.
While you were on Reality House, you met and competed with the drama queen, Trisha Paytas. Mm-hmm. Have any like one-on-one interactions with her?
We didn't, because she was actually only there for like a couple hours.
Right. Just
so during the time, it was literally like a hello situation where we all said hi to the group, and then they competed, and then they literally went home.
There was just one shot where you looked at the camera because Trisha was just feet away. You were like, this bitch is crazy.
Like I think we're all so aware of the online presence of, you know, of Trisha, and just in general, like all the people there I knew of. Right. And so it's like I know a lot of times where they got their start from, how they go about things. It's just kind of like, okay, well, if she stays, it's going to probably be a little bit more of a intense situation. But, you know, at the end of the day, she didn't stay. So I didn't really have any interactions. I was just like, okay, well, they really want to make this interesting. They want to have some battles out here.
Right. Perfect segue from Reality House. On Full Coverage, you and Laura had talked about going to Coachella with Tana Mongeau this past year.
Yes.
Assuming TanaCon 2.0 does get pulled off, do you plan to attend?
I would go.
Absolutely.
100%. Because the thing is, I think that everyone deserves like a second chance. And I think that, especially in the last few years, I feel like Tana really, really, really has grown so much as a person. And it's not even just about like, you know, this girl that was just cloud chasing and just very that, because that's kind of what her brand was, like this dramatic cloud chaser at the time, years ago. And I think that she's changed so much and she's grown so much as a person, and every interaction I've ever had with her has been so sweet. She's genuinely so kind. And so for me, like, I'd be like, I would go and support her. Obviously, if it's, you know, make sure everything's safe and everything's well done. And I think that everyone deserves like a second chance for something. And seeing her growth online as well as in person, I think that she could do it. Like, I genuinely do. I believe in her.
And let's be real, she's not truly controversial. It's all surface level drama with Tana.
It's so shallow. She was very misunderstood for a long time.
Right. I know you don't want to. I'm going to bring up Dramageddon.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, you run a successful podcast with Laura Lee.
Yes.
Do you still keep in touch with any of the players from Dramageddon?
You know, I still have communication and contact with Nikita. Same with Gabriel. I'm actually very close with Gabriel, and closer than we were pre Dramageddon, to be honest. Like, we actually became, it almost like bonded us even more in a friendship of us two. You know, I feel like before, like, you know, online, when you're doing things, when you're going through the motions, you have like this little friend group and you're like, oh, let's make sure that like everyone knows that we're all friends and we're, you know, playing it up for camera. But like, it wasn't as strong with me and him before. And now it's like me and him have a real relationship, us two together. And it's like, we're friends. It's not that we're in a friend group, we're close. So I'm still very close with, obviously, Laura. She's my best friend ever in the world. Gabriel, I'm very close with. I still keep in contact with Nikita as well. So I think that it just takes time. Time heals all wounds in a way. So we have all kept in contact.
Plus the growth, because y'all have all dealt with your own separate internet battles after the fact.
Absolutely.
And that was completely isolated incidents.
You know, I think that when you're a big creator online, you're going to have a lot of scrutiny. A lot of things are going to go on. You're going to be like looked at in a very specific way. So when you go through a drama, a lot of people are looking at you like, I can go through drama again. Are you dramatic? Like, are you crazy? Right. So I think that for me, it was really important to like just take a step back and be like, okay, well, what I really want to do? Like, what I really want to focus on? What do I want to, you know, how do I want to leave my impression on this world online? And it wasn't like being dramatic. And like, when I say I want to do something, like I like go gung ho. And I was like, no, I want to focus on myself and things that help me grow as a person and not focus so much online with, you know, things. I feel like if Manny's happy, then everything else like falls into place.
Do you have any updates on Nikita? Maybe not necessarily the legal side of things, but how is she personally doing right now?
No, yeah, you know, I think I don't have any updates to give you, honestly, right now. I don't really know a lot of what's going on. I think that it's definitely more on the like hush situation.
Right. I don't really know.
Out. Yeah, and I think at the end of the day, I just want her to be happy and I want her to be okay. You know, like that's truly all I want for her, is just to be happy and good and okay, and just make sure that she's mentally well and physically well, etc. So I don't really have any updates on that, but I just want her to be good.
Right. This is the last thing I've got for you. You launched Lunar Beauty in 2018.
Yes.
You're up to, I think, 8 palettes now.
Yeah.
Just released the 12 Days of Lunar Advent calendar. I know you have full creative control of the company, and what you've created so far is absolutely beautiful. What is next? Are you going to continue expanding Lunar Beauty, or
Yes.
are you going to expand the reality career? What are we doing here? What's next for Manny?
Definitely Lunar Beauty for sure. Definitely going to be, you know, going into that more. I think that that's my biggest, like, I feel so good about Lunar Beauty because it's something that I have full control over. It's not like it's a collaboration. It's not like I'm doing it with another brand. It's me and my thing.
Your baby.
So for me, it's like I want to continue to do that. I want to continue to create products that I fully believe in, things that I truly love, and you know that if I made it, that I like put my all into it, you know. And I wanted to have a brand that people knew that, like, as a creator, as a makeup reviewer, as someone in the beauty space for 10 years, like I had the best interest of, you know, my followers and the customer. And it wasn't like, I'm not just like some random CEO who doesn't really care, just wants to make money. I was like, no, I'm going to create stuff that's amazing, good quality, fairly priced. And you know that like, it's going to be good because I worked on it, you know? So I'm going to continue on to that. I'm going to keep expanding Lunar Beauty, keep expanding the categories. I want to jump into different categories in 2023, you know? So that's definitely what I'm working on right now, to expand into different like verticals of it, you know? And also like, if another reality thing comes up, I would definitely be interested in doing it because it's fun. Like I enjoyed it.
Audiences enjoy watching you.
It's funny because I was always like in like Surreal Life, I was always like in everyone's like situations. I wasn't like the drama, but I was somehow always involved because everyone would come to me like, this is what's happening. And I'm like, oh my God, it's so crazy.
Anything you want to plug? Anything you would like to say yourself?
So full coverage episodes are up every single Friday. Me and Laura Lee, full coverage. Obviously, it's a play on, it's FOOL coverage, a play on like full coverage makeup, but also like we're kind of fools, just like covering things. So,
right. And the 12 Days of Lunar Advent Calendar is out now.
Yes, it's out now. Oh my God, there's actually, you know what's crazy is that like, I think we only have like 35 left. Not 3,500, 35. Oh. Yeah, so it's like, it's gonna probably be going pretty soon. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it. It was so great.
Yes, it was very good talking to you.
So nice to talk to you as well. Have a good one.
See you later.
Bye.